Bob, we've talked a lot about defensive line play, defensive backfield, and kind of skipped over that middle area of the field. We're now 10 games into kind of the starting career of Luke Katarius. Obviously Rohan getting injured at the Brown game last year. And another terrific effort by him last weekend, and he's really been kind of an anchor right in the middle of the defense since he's taken over as starting.
Yeah, I mean, he's continued to progress as a player, and we saw it from freshman to sophomore year, sophomore to junior year. He really was a good special teams player, and then junior year, he got in the role, and then he expanded his role, and he's playing at a very high level. And, just watching the way he and Rohan play in the middle, and then when Mark and Nick Fakula come in, we're getting really good play there.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I had because, Katarius replaced Tilton in the starting line when he got hurt. And now you put them two together, and I was wondering, do they complement each other or do they kind of have the same individual strengths? But it really has seemed like they've complemented each other in that defense.
Yeah, the great Jim Garrett, and I remember sitting in Monmouth Beach with a bunch of guys and listening to him. And I was a draftnik. I was Joel Bushbaum, Pro Football Weekly, all those things. And any chance you had to pick the brain of a Garrett, you do it. And Mr. Garrett was great players transcend scheme. And so the traits that he and Rohan have, even though they're similar, they're traits you want on the football field. They tackle well, they're physical, they have great discipline, they're hard workers, they're everything you want on a defensive player, they do. And so I think they are similar traits, but they're good defensive football traits.
We've talked about the play of your quarterbacks, and John Lovett, now two-time Ivy League Offensive Player of the Week, come off with that big first touchdown pass. I mean, they've put up numbers, but last weekend, I know you were missing a couple offensive linemen, and Brown had that pressure, 8-man front, and they got in a lot. The toughness that your two quarterbacks showed, I thought, was really pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're making throws you see on Sundays. Guys in their face, and they're not throwing it and forcing and making errors. They're making great decisions, and they're putting the ball in great spots accurately where there's run after catch. And we saw 2 or 3 times on 3rd and 6s, they took a crossing route, and an Osborne or Fushani or a running back or tight end broke a tackle and kept the drive going. And that's a sign of a guys who trust each other, and I think it's a maturation process.
Yeah, the first 2 touchdown passes, clearly designed plays. The second Lovett to Fushani touchdown pass was kind of straight out of backyard football. But I guess your receivers, especially with Lovett in there, keep the play alive because he's going to stay on his feet and figure out a way to get the ball downfield.
You didn't think we drew that up that way?
If you did, that's impressive.
No, obviously there's things you design, and when you have really good athletes, and John is an exceptional athlete, sometimes he is going to break contain, and we work hard on going through our scramble rules. And that was really nice to see that play executed by players. And you love it. You want it to be where it's exactly how it's designed. But if there is a missed block or there is a situation a play has to be extended, he is as good as it gets doing that.
So we go to Harvard Week, 2012, 2013, 2 all-time classics. 2014, 2015, Harvard really controlled, the great majority of those games. This year, if you look Harvard offensively, they have some standouts. I know, 3 of them were on the bench last week. You expect to see all 3 this week. Those are guys that can break, a 4-yard gain into a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it's Lehigh-esque, but better. And, it's kind of the NBA where it used to be you needed a big 2 and then a big 3. And, they have a lot of tremendous players, but those 4 guys are elite. And it's similar to Lehigh in that you can't just say we're just going to stop Samar Smith. We're going to just put guys in the box and tackle the running back, because then the ball's to Mosley and it's to Ferkser or some of the other really, really good players they have. And so it really forces you to play great disciplined defense that way. But that is a tremendous group, and it's another terrific offensive line they have.
Obviously, you struggled with Lehigh defensively. The discipline has been there the last 3 weeks. Now, obviously, this is a jump in offensive skill, but do you feel like in terms of communication and discipline and awareness that your team has made this jump over 3 weeks?
We're playing well. We're playing better. This is going to be a tremendous challenge, and our guys know that. And every week it's prepare and do all those things. But when they watch the film, they're watching just 11 guys on the field at all times that are very, very good to exceptional. So it really forces you to be that precise.
Defensively, Harvard has limited you to 1 touchdown in each of the last 2 games. You kind of know what you're going to get from them. It's just a matter of, can you win the one-on-one battle? So when you've looked at them, are there areas on their defense that have been particularly impressive this year?
Yeah, their red zone and third down efficiency rates are outstanding, and that's really held true for a while for them. But they are one of the top teams in the country on third down. They get off the field, they rush the quarterback well, they play very well in pass defense. They're at every level of the field. They're playing extremely well, and they force you to execute. They force you to put the ball exactly where it has to go, right on time, and that's from day one what we talk about on offense. So we're really working hard this week at practice to do that and get ready for that.